All right, looks like we're ready to go.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Jordan.
Great. So hi, everyone. My name is Jordan. I'm a Senior Assistant Director at Northwestern University located in Evanston, Illinois. And so in my presentation today, I really want to highlight what's unique about Northwestern, as I'm sure you've watched many of these videos, and talking about what's unique is what I find to be the most informative and helpful in this college search. So one of the things that makes Northwestern unique is our location, and we like to refer to it as the perfect trifecta, in that we have access to the major metropolitan city of Chicago. We have a true residential college campus in Evanston that's about a mile north to south, half mile east to west, totally walkable, and actually hugs Lake Michigan with 2 private beaches. And then our campus is walking distance to the college town of Evanston, which has everything a college student can need, from your bookstores, your coffee shops, your restaurants, and so forth. And so all together, between having the city of Chicago, a true campus in Evanston, and a college town walking distance from our campus, we love to call that our perfect trifecta for the location. And so who gets to call this school home? So Northwestern is home to about 8,000 undergraduate students from all 50 states and more than 95 different countries. Our students are diverse by every definition of the word, so racially, ethnically, socioeconomically, geographically, and so forth. And since our classes are pretty small, with a 6-to-1 student to faculty ratio and 80% of classes having less than 20 students, you can guarantee that as a Northwestern student, you're actually going to get to know these peers of yours that are coming from different backgrounds, because you're living with them in residence halls, because we have a 2-year live-on requirement for your first 2 years at Northwestern. And then again, these tiny classes, you're guaranteed to be sitting next to someone who maybe grew up practicing a different language than you, or a different religion, or who's just from a different state altogether. And we believe that that creates a really enriching academic experience for students. And so what's also unique about Northwestern is that we're under a quarter system. So in the quarter system, our students will take classes probably around 4 or so in the fall, winter, and spring quarter, and many take the summer quarter off, but you're taking about 12 classes per year. Now, if you compare that with a semester system school, where you're taking 4 classes in the fall and 4 in the winter, maybe 8 per year, you can see that at Northwestern, you're taking more class. And for a Northwestern student, that's really exciting, because that means that not only can you pursue all of your interests, you don't have to choose between engineering and dance, but you also have room in your schedule to try new things. So even though you are a radio, television, and film major, you can take those electives in our School of Education and Social Policy, because you simply have room in your schedule given the quarter system. So this flexibility really comes to life when you look at our 6-school model. So when you apply to Northwestern, you're going to apply to one of these 6 schools, knowing though that during your time at Northwestern, you'll have the opportunity to take classes across all 6 schools, perhaps change majors, meaning changing your school altogether. Perhaps you're going to have a minor in one school and a certificate in another. You're by no means restricted to the one school that you apply to when you're a Northwestern student. Although, of course, you can stay in that one school, but you'll still have the experience and opportunities to see what's going on in the other schools as well. So Weinberg is our largest undergraduate school. It's home to about 50% of our students, and that's kind of your core liberal arts curriculum and disciplines. We have our McCormick School of Engineering, known for taking a whole brain approach to engineering, in that it doesn't only just produce great problem solvers, but also really creative thinkers. We have our School of Communication, which is famous for programs like radio, television, and film, and theater and dance. We have our Medill School of Journalism, Media, and Integrated Marketing and Communications. That's known for their one major, which is journalism. Our Beaton School of Music, which is our conservatory style music school. Also the only school on here that requires an audition, which is a supplemental material when applying. And then our School of Education and Social Policy. We call that school small but mighty, in that it enrolls about 50 students per year, but graduates 150, making it the most transferred into school at Northwestern. So that right there is also just a really good example of that flexibility in our curriculum and within the 6-school model, to switch schools altogether or just pick up majors and minors across any of the 6 of them. But a ton of learning is also happening outside the classroom at Northwestern. We allocate $3.5 million every year to undergraduate research, and we have over 150 study abroad programs. And study abroad takes lots of different forms. Maybe it's your music ensemble spending spring break in China performing across the country, or it's the journalism and residency program in Medill, which requires students to take a quarter off to do an internship, and they do that abroad. or perhaps it's the more traditional abroad experience. Either way, there's just so much learning outside the classroom at Northwestern that really complements the classroom experience really nicely. And all of this together really prepares our students well for careers opportunities after they graduate from Northwestern. 2/3 of our students have one or more internships by the time they graduate. Again, that has a lot to do with how lots of internship opportunities are intertwined into the curriculum. I just spoke about the journalism and residency program for Medill, but the School of Education has something similar called the Practicum, where they also take a quarter off to get real hands-on work experience within the education sector. And then likewise, we have a program called Chicago Field Studies, which connects our students with internships in Chicago. And that doesn't necessarily mean taking a quarter off of class, because students could so easily use our free inter-campus shuttle or our public transportation opportunities to do an internship in Chicago 2 days a week. And then maybe if they have a ton of classes in Evanston 3 days a week. Overall, though, we like to say that there's not just one way to do Northwestern. Northwestern is a kind of place where, similarly to how students have so many academic interests, students have lots of extracurricular interests too. It's the place where, someone can be on the swim team doing research in a chemistry lab and has the lead in the musical, or they're in an a cappella group, but they're also, in an entrepreneurship venture out of our garage. So many different things to do at Northwestern, and students aren't limited to choose or stay just kind of in one lane. We have our culturally focused student groups, politically focused groups, philanthropic, I mentioned a cappella, and then we're also the only school in the Big Ten that gives our students free tickets to all sporting events. So there's never a good reason, actually, let me rephrase that. We never want finances to keep any of our students away from cheering on our Wildcats at athletic games. So assuming this all sounds exciting to you, I'll overview of how to apply to Northwestern. We take a holistic approach to admissions, meaning that we're going to look at every part of your application to get a greater understanding of who you are as an individual and how you might be a good fit for our institution. We're on both the Common App and the Coalition App, so you can apply using either one. And we have 2 rounds, early decision, which is binding and due November 1st, and then regular decision, not binding, due January 3rd. We're going to look at your high school transcripts, how you did over your high school career, what classes were offered to you, and did you challenge yourself, and how did you do in those rigorous courses? And similarly, looking at the letters of recommendation to get an idea of what do you actually like in the classroom, what do you like as a student, and those anecdotal stories that really complement a transcript nicely. We are test optional for this year's applicants. So you're welcome to send a score. You do not have to, though. If you do send a score, you're welcome to self-report it, and we do super score. But if you ultimately enroll at Northwestern, we will require official copies. And then last but not least, we'll look at those essays too. Both your Common App or Coalition essay, but also our supplement, which is Why Northwestern, in about 300 words, summarizing why you think Northwestern is a good fit for you and where you want to spend your college career. And lastly, we are extremely proud to make Northwestern an accessible education for our students. We meet 100% of full demonstrated need. That means that whatever you or your family cannot contribute towards your education at Northwestern, we are going to fill it. And we're going to do that with scholarships, grant, and work study. And it's 100% loan free. So we committed to that about 5 or 6 years ago, just to really show how at the end of the day, we want students who are admitted to Northwestern to come and join the Wildcat community, and we never want finances to be a reason that they don't. So we're very fortunate to be in a position for that. So you do not need to apply. We don't have for scholarship. We don't have merit scholarships. All you need to do to be considered for this funding is apply for financial aid by submitting your FAFSA and CSS profile. And with that, that's a super brief overview of Northwestern. I encourage you to stay connected with us. Check out our social media websites and our own website to see when we're doing information sessions or other visits, perhaps in your area. And we hope to hear from you soon and hope that you decide to apply to Northwestern. Thank you.
Awesome, Jordan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
We did have one student actually join us. Questions for Jordan that you'd like to ask? Come over. Let her see. We had a student join who has a question.
Oh, wonderful. Hi.
Introduce yourself and your name and your grade, all that good stuff.
I'm Matthew Doe. I'm a senior at CBHS.
Hi.
I was wondering if there's any anything like a hidden gem in Northwestern that makes it like a great school that's not really known about?
Oh, a hidden gem. I think it's that it's amazing. You know, we talk a lot about our funding for financial aid. And so we talk about funding often in terms of the application process. But I think what we fail to talk about a lot is how much funding we have when you're on campus. So for example, during freshman orientation, your first week on campus, you're doing a bunch of super, super cool things. But one of those cool things a couple of years ago was we were able to fund free tickets to Hamilton for the whole freshman class. And so, yeah, like that's really expensive. So we did that. But then we also have things like the summer internship grant program. So if you want to do an internship, but it's really far away from home and you can't afford to really do it because you don't know where you're going to live, we have funding for that. Likewise, you know, today we got an email for our winter coat closet. You know, students who might not have the resources to buy winter apparel, we'll give you some. So, you know, and I'm not just saying this, you know, it doesn't only just affect low-income students. Of course, it's fantastic for low-income students, but even if you're not a low-income student, things like the free tickets to all Big Ten sporting events. I mean, we're the only school in the Big Ten that does that. So I think it's the fact that there's just so many opportunities at Northwestern that should have a price tag, but they don't, because we just have a really great budgeting model that doesn't prevent any of our students, no matter their financial background, from really enjoying the Northwestern experience. And I definitely don't think that's true for all institutions.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, you know, sorry, did you say your name was Matthew? Did I hear it right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to send in the chat a link. It'd be great if you could fill this so I know you were here today, just in case you applied to Northwestern. We'll see that you came, and also so that you can just stay in our system and stay in the loop on things going on at the university.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll email that information to you so that you have it. Okay. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much, Jordan. We really appreciate your presentation today.
Yeah, of course. And feel free to share my email address with anybody who might have questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I will keep all your info on file because we do have a lot of students around in Northwestern. I'm sorry we didn't join the crowd today, but
no, it's okay. It's, you know, it's I wish I could visit in person, but it really goes to show how efficient this is.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so crazy right now.
Yeah. So
No,
it's all good. I'm happy that at least you recorded it and you'll spread the word.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be in touch soon. Hopefully one day in person soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, well, have a great rest of your day.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.